RetroDaze.
Here at RetroDaze, we don't need much of an excuse to dim the lights, pop some popcorn, and hit play on an epic movie marathon. The films could be inspired by, well, almost anything. Maybe we'll compile a list of horror movies for Halloween, or a handful of nostalgic pigskin-themed classics for your next Super Bowl shindig. Today's list of movies is inspired by summer. Don't think of our choices as a top 5 so much as a jumping-off point of suggestions. Heck, go ahead and swap out some of these movies with your own picks. The only thing that matters is that you have a memorable night with your friends enjoying some of these 5 must-watch nostalgic summer movies. We are bursting through the gate this week with a heavy hitter, and quite possibly one of the first movies to come to mind when you think of summer. Jaws came out in 1975 to huge box office success, making a record $7 million in its opening weekend. It even went on to overtake The Godfather as the highest-grossing film in North America, making $100 million over a 59-day run. The film's success was in no small part due to the innovative marketing campaign, which started a year earlier with publicity for the novel upon which the movie was based. In total, Universal put up $1.8 million for the marketing, with a number of television ads running straight through the release date. The most famous of the bunch starts underwater with the soon-to-be iconic theme music playing. In comes the narrator at a deep and foreboding voice. He describes the unstoppable force of nature stalking the ocean.
A mindless, eating machine. It will attack and devour anything. It is as if God created the devil and gave him jaws.
This TV spot made it crystal clear this is a horror movie. But one that took place in the sunshine on the beach during the 4th of July. There was something particularly terrifying about this notion because horror movies take place at night, in graveyards, abandoned cabins, deep in the forest, with the full moon burning red in the sky. It's not often moviegoers were taught to fear the daytime. Before long, Jaws had become an indelible part of summer. Whether or not you like the movie, heck, whether you even watched the movie, when summer arrived, so did the Jaws references. It was practically an unspoken law of kiddom that you had to attack your friends swimming in the pool or ocean while chanting those haunting notes. Da-dum, 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 dum 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 da-dum dum 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 da-dum dum 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 dum. And that's also what plays inside my head every time our producer gives me that get your lines recorded stare. Spooky. Our next pick really pushes the limits of the must-watch designation. Meatballs is a 1979 film directed by Ivan Reitman and starring, for the first time in a feature film, Bill Murray. Besides launching Murray's career, the movie is often remembered for little else. Murray plays Tripper Harrison, head counselor of the cut-rate Camp North Star. Every year, they lose the Camp Olympics to the $1,000-a-day Camp Mohawk. During the course of the film, Tripper takes a lonely kid, Rudy Gerner, under his wing. What follows is a fairly standard summer camp flick overloaded with hijinks, pranks, and buffoonery, which sometimes elicits a chuckle. One such recurring gag sees the camp's owner placed in increasingly absurd areas of the camp while he sleeps. We eventually make it to the big showdown between camps where Tripper attempts to make a hero out of young Rudy. Despite its flaws, Meatballs manages to conjure some genuine summer feels and touching moments, especially for those of us who attended a summer camp in our youth, making this movie a must-watch addition to your summer viewing. Summer School, the 1987 film directed by Carl Reiner, is a perfect early summer choice as it begins during the last minutes of school before summer break. These opening moments bring the viewer back to their own school days, conjuring that true feeling of summer vacation. Not summer vacation as an adult, but the giddy excitement of running full tilt from a classroom for the last time, throwing your notebooks into the garbage can, and biking into the horizon where fantastic adventures waited. The film follows laid-back gym teacher Freddie Shoop, who's about to leave on an exotic Hawaiian vacation with his girlfriend. Vice Principal Gillis ropes Shoop into staying on as the remedial English teacher with a promise of tenure.
You're a semi-charming guy and a real snappy dresser. You're just not the kind of guy I date anymore.
Yeah? What kind of guy you dating now?
Oh, the kind who wears socks.
Summer School works well as an underdog story from both the perspective of Shoop, who needs to become a better teacher, and the students who are striving to pass a major English exam. Of course, there are also tons of summer vibes throughout the flick. Not only does the school appear to be oceanside, but Shoop takes his class on a number of field trips, including visits to the beach and a theme park. It's the kind of class we all used to dream about, as long as we didn't have to take it during summer vacation. And though it has nothing to do with summer, we still have to give the movie bonus points for including two horror-obsessed students, who at one point transformed the entire classroom into a gore-splattered spectacle. Summer School doesn't land on many top whatever lists. That isn't to say the movie doesn't have its fans, and here at RetroDaze, at least, it makes for essential summer viewing. Next on our list of must-watch nostalgic summer movies, we have a true classic. Stand By Me is a 1986 film directed by Rob Reiner, adapted for film from Stephen King's novella, The Body. This coming-of-age story follows four misfit friends as they search for the body of a missing boy. There are countless elements of childhood summer littered throughout the movie, but what sticks out is the sense of adventure, camaraderie, and fear as the boys strike out into the world on their own. Stand By Me is also a prime example of a movie that creates a sense of anemoia, or nostalgia for a time in which you did not live. When Stand By Me was released in 1986, it would have originally been providing a sense of nostalgia for the parents of 80s kids because the action of the film took place Labor Day weekend, 1959. However, for the 80s kid, this created a strange nostalgia and anemoia for the 50s. Some of our favorite 80s kid actors are here doing their best work. Corey Feldman, River Phoenix, Jerry O'Connell, and Will Wheaton have become one of the quintessential friend groups of 80s films. And though the film doesn't take place in the 1980s, there's something keenly universal in the adventure, friendship, and loss depicted here.
I'm never gonna get out of this town, am I, Corey? You can do anything you want, man. Yeah. Sure. Give me some skin.
This is summer. This is coming of age. This is classic. Rounding out our list is yet another goofy 80s comedy. One Crazy Summer is Savage Steve Holland's other John Cusack flick. His first, Better Off Dead, tends to garner more attention, and arguably for good reason, but One Crazy Summer has the same absurdist sensibility and just as many laughs, while also being a bit more polished than Holland's debut. Cusack plays the ironically named Hoops McCann, who it turns out is terrible at basketball and doesn't get the scholarship he'd been hoping for. He goes to Nantucket for summer vacation, where he meets Cassandra Eldridge, a young musician trying to hit it big. Much like Better Off Dead, Cusack's character ends up in a minor feud with a rich, popular islander named Teddy Beckerstead. Also, similar to the plot of Better Off Dead, Hoops attempts to resolve his issues by competing in a public contest, in this case, a regatta. Like all the films on today's list, we're treated to an overload of summertime atmosphere, with much of the film taking place on or around the beach. With so many great summer movies, a list of only 5 was not an easy task, but our army of highly trained howler monkeys did an admirable job, even if they chose Meatballs over the great outdoors. You just can't teach good taste, I guess. That is to say, there are plenty of other movies that could have easily landed on the list. Maybe even you have a few in mind. I'd love to hear about it down in the comments. And if you enjoyed our content, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and maybe even activating that ubiquitous notification bell. It really does make a huge difference. Let's meet again next week to celebrate Yesteryear right here on RetroDaze.
Clicky clacky.